Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Napa Exposition Hall here in Napa, California for Bay Area Combat's presentation of Oktoberfest here on the Solano College Sports Network. My name is Brian Nelson. Alongside with me is Stephen Babin, Nicole Requejo. Nikki, what are some of the things you're looking forward to in this 12-fight card?
I'm super excited about the 9th fight just because I'm a girl and this is a girls' fight, especially these fighters are brand new. Basically, Heather has never fought, so I'm really excited that Bay Area Combat is giving her this opportunity. She's an expert in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and her opponent is actually MMA expert. So I'm really excited to see the difference between these two fighters on today.
Yeah, it should be exciting to see these girls show out here today in Napa. Now, Stephen, what are some of your highlights and expectations that you're looking forward to seeing here tonight?
I'm really excited about the main event tonight. It is a lightweight title bout between Michael Bueno and Raymond Lopez. Now, Bueno is out of Team Santos El Nino from Castro Valley, fighting in a karate style. Raymond Lopez is coming in at 3-4, local here from Napa Valley MMA, and he's more of a wrestler. Now, Michael Bueno is 3-2, and his last fight was a win, a knockout, actually at the last Bay Area Combat event in June. He did that knockout in 4 seconds. Now, Raymond Lopez, his last fight was back in December 2017, and he unfortunately lost in a TKO. So it'll be interesting to see how Lopez responds from that big break from December 2017, and look to see if Michael Bueno could come in quick and see if he can end the fight fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Bueno and Lopez, no stranger to the Solano College Sports Network. We've broadcasted several of their fights before in the past. That title fight is one of 3 title fights on this card. It's going to be a lot of exciting action here in Napa for Bay Area Combat. And when we come back, we're going to have our first bout between Kedrick Shadley and Darius Ayers in the lightweight division. If you are interested in a career in sports broadcasting,
whether you're commentating a live game
or hosting your own TV show,
or working behind the scenes, then this is the class for you.
For more information, contact Greg Poff, that's me, at solano.edu.
We hope to see you here next semester, and remember,
it's more than just sports, it's an education.
And we are set for this 150-pound matchup in the lightweight division. Darius Ayers already in the cage, coming and making his entrance is Kedrick Shadley. Stephen, tell us a little bit about Shadley.
So Shadley's coming into this match 2-0 out of Team Omni Movement from Oakland, California. He's listed as having 1-year collegiate boxing. His last fight was a TKO back in June. And, yeah, I think he's definitely going to match up well against Ayers.
Yeah, and those 2 wins you mentioned, Stephen, are both in 2018. So, Nicole, how does he try to keep his momentum alive here? This is 3rd fight in 2018 alone. What are you expecting from Shadley coming into this one?
Well, he hasn't had any losses, so definitely I'm expecting for another win. I'm really hoping that this is his lucky 3. However, Darius is also a very good fighter, so I really want to see how these fighter from the Dragon House is expecting to fight Kedrick.
Yeah, and Ayers from Dragon House, 27 years of age, Orthodox fighter from San Francisco, California. We're actually going to send it to Jim Cooley for the official announcement. Now I'll get back to Ayers in a second.
Referee, when the action begins, Mr. Phil Baldacci. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, hailing from Vallejo, California. He represents Team Dragon House and weighing in at 151.8 pounds, Darius D-Money Ayers. His opponent, across the cage in the red corner, makes his home in Oakland, California. He represents Omni Movement and weighing in at 151.6 pounds, Kedrick Shadley.
Big thanks to Jim Cooley, Voice of Champions, being the official ring announcer here for Oktoberfest. We're getting set for 3 2-minute rounds here in mixed martial arts action here at the Napa Valley Expo, or Bay Area Combat. Ayers coming in at a 1-1 record versus Shadley's perfect 2-0. And we're getting set once the bell rings. And the fight is underway. It's both fighters posturing in the center of the cage. Nobody's striking yet. really just trying to find a rhythm here, especially a boxer like you said, Shadley, wants to find his rhythm early.
Absolutely, and Ayers is coming in with some kung fu experience. Let's see how quick his hands are against the boxer.
Yeah, both these fighters very athletic in their build as Ayers misses on that combination.
And Ayers is definitely looks like he outweighs Shadley by a decent amount.
But Shadley does have the reach advantage, so he'll definitely try to utilize that in this matchup as 40 seconds have gone by in this first round. Not a lot of action so far. A lot of posturing from these two fighters.
Yeah, let's see if they try to keep it on their feet and see if it even goes to the ground at all in this first round.
Yeah, and we'll see if there's some unrest from the crowd because approaching a minute in, almost half the round gone as Ayers misses with that left hook.
Yeah, they still seem to be kind of measuring out as Ayers throws that left. Excuse me, Ayers throws that left.
Yeah, nobody's really going for any takedowns. They're just trying to trade some punches as Shadley connects with that right hand. And now Ayers goes for the takedown attempt, going for the single leg takedown.
And
picks up Shadley, gets it.
Let's see if he can pass the legs here. Shadley in the guard.
Yeah, and Ayers wants to get past the guard of Shadley, try to potentially get in the full mount position, try to work from here as 30 seconds left in this first round. Ayers decisively in the lead now with that takedown in this round. A couple body punches from Ayers with the right hand to the ribs of Shadley.
Shadley looks like he has Ayers' left arm locked up pretty good. Oh, as Ayers gets it free.
So Ayers now scoring from top position here as a 10-second mark has sounded. So Shadley will survive this first round after Ayers gets that huge takedown in the first.
Yeah, it looks like that first round was definitely more scored for points and not a lot of submission action or knockouts from either fighter.
So both fighters, both Dragon House MMA for Darius Ayers as well as Omni Movement for Kedrick Shadley, are going to talk to their fighters. Nicole, what are you expecting from either of these corners in terms of advice going into this next round?
I would definitely tell Shadley that usually he's a fighter that waits on the first round and gets stronger and stronger the more rounds he fights. However, he was taken down at the last time, at the last seconds of these rounds. So I would tell him that he should be a little bit faster for the next rounds.
And Steven, a good takedown from Ayers really sealed that round. What does he have to do to capitalize on this momentum?
You know, I think he just has to keep out of the reach of Shadley and definitely see if he can use his physical strength to his advantage and maybe with another takedown and see what he can get going on the ground and pound. Shadley didn't look like he was as comfortable in the guard as Ayers was in the mount.
And so as we are getting set for round number 2, we are unfortunately experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties on our camera, so we only have 2 shots for you, but definitely we'll have some good shots from Jacob, our side cameraman, as you see his shot as we are getting set for round number 2, as Ayers is getting positioned by the referee.
Yeah, Ayers definitely looks ready to get this round underway.
Yeah, after I think he decisively won that round 10-9 in the first round, Shadley should look to become maybe the aggressor here in round number 2 as he feints with a couple punches, goes with the left jab.
For having boxing experience, Shadley doesn't really hold his hands up like a traditional boxer.
That left kick was really a good tactic from Shadley.
But again, Ayers using his lower center of gravity to his advantage, going for the double leg takedown and getting it. So again, Shadley is going to have to use those legs to prevent from being mounted by Ayers in this position.
Shadley right now, he needs to start using those hips to try to get away from that takedown.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Ayers is going to be able to pass the guard here. Let's see what he can get going. Oh, and it looks like Shadley may have his left hand back around the neck of Ayers.
It's going to be difficult for him to get a guillotine from this position. Really trying to get Ayers to get uncomfortable as Ayers lands a nice shot from the top position with the right hand. Passing to half guard. Getting side control is Ayers potentially. Can't see. Actually, one of his legs is caught by Shadley. So good job by Shadley not getting full side control from Ayers.
And it looks like Ayers might be trying to take the back of Shadley there as he hits a right to the face.
See maybe some leaping punches from Ayers as a good left-right combination from Ayers, but Shadley able to get to his feet. Huge for Shadley.
Absolutely. He actually showed a little bit of speed there trying to evade Ayers.
Good left jab from Ayers to the chin of Shadley. Going for the left hook, but misses as we're approaching 25 seconds left in the second round.
Looks like Ayers is trying to go for some haymakers here, but they actually look pretty controlled for the power that they have.
And so Ayers getting takedowns in both the first and second round as the second round approaches its conclusion, as both these fighters are trading blows, scoring some points. But again, Ayers now probably up 2-0 in terms of rounds. So it's going to be up for Shadley to have a very aggressive third round to potentially get back in this fight.
Yeah, Shadley's only hope, I think, here is either TKO or submission on Ayers. And I don't think Ayers is going to be slowing down going to the third. And Shadley looks like he might be getting a little winded.
Right now, at the end of this round, we saw how the blue corner started playing a little bit more boxing. However, he needs to remember that the red corner, his strong suit is boxing. So I would recommend for him to keep doing underground.
Yeah, really Ayers early on in that first round was trying to stay on his feet with Shadley. I think Ayers would probably prefer to stay on his feet as well, but once he went for the takedown and saw what success garnered from that takedown in the first round, he went back to it in the second, and I expect in the third round, probably going to see another takedown attempt from Ayers in this third.
I agree. Shadley just doesn't seem as comfortable on the ground as he does on his feet.
So third and final round, 2 minutes left in this opening bout of Oktoberfest Bay Area combat action here on the Solano College Sports Network. Brian Nelson here with Stephen Babb and Nikki Requejo as Ayers and Shadley getting back underway here in the third round.
Looks like Shadley's definitely going more boxing. And Ayers with the big takedown again.
Double leg once again. The recipe for success for Ayers.
I'm actually really surprised in these fight. I really thought that Kedrick was going to take his third lucky number, but to be honest, he hasn't shown anything surprising.
Yeah,
in this fight.
takedown defense is something that Shadley can take away from this matchup early on, as this is pretty good position where his legs are at least up against the cage. He can try to use the cage as leverage to try to get out of this situation from the bottom.
Yeah, Shadley definitely looks like he's in a little bit of trouble there, as Ayers definitely has the upper hand.
Yeah, inside control is Ayers, maybe going for those elbows, short elbows to the ribs of Shadley.
Yeah, that's a punishing blow when you're on the ground like that, with an open shot right to your stomach. Oh, and it looks like he's looking for a leg lock there.
Yeah, Shadley is trying to just hold Ayers, and he explodes up. Exactly what he needs to do. Ayers trying to use his strength to keep Shadley down, but Shadley looks like he's about to get back up on his feet, as Ayers actually has him pinned up against the cage. Great job by Ayers using that strength. Not the tallest of the fighters, but definitely very physically built and using that physical advantage.
No, I agree. Definitely has the upper hand as far as strength goes, as Shadley tries to get back up to his feet. Ayers is just not letting him.
And so with Ayers' control throughout the match, it's going to really dictate the judges' scores, as great breakup by the referee to engage in some action. With 10 seconds left, they're going to start throwing hands.
Ayers hit that right. Oh, and Shadley backs up out of that left.
So the Vallejo native, Darius Ayers, I think, well on his way to picking up his second career victory here.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to go to decision, but I don't think Shadley had enough in this fight to really dissuade the judges out of those 3 rounds. I think I have them going all to Ayers.
I have to agree. I gave it to the blue corner this time. And to be honest, I think the red corner already knows. You can totally tell by his expression. He didn't give his 100% in this fight. We'll hope to see him again and let him win.
Yeah, only his third fight in his amateur career, both coming in 2018. So this is a learning process for the 30-year-old Shadley. Coming in with a 2-0 record, had to come in with some confidence, but Ayers looked very impressive here this evening. And we are getting set for the official decision with Jim Cooley in the cage, so we'll send it to him right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 big rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored this bout the same way, 30-27 for your winner by unanimous decision. In the blue corner, Darius D-Money Ayers.
So D-Money was money here in Napa, picking up his second career victory. Kedrick Shadley falls to 2-1 in his career. And just as we predicted, 30-27, all 3 rounds going to Ayers.
Yeah, it did. Ayers is going to walk away from this match at 2-1 overall. And as you mentioned, Shadley going down to 2-1 himself.
All right, so with Shadley losing to Ayers, our next matchup in Oktoberfest here at Bay Area Combat, it will be between Tyler Watkins and Eugenio Garcia in a featherweight bout coming up next. Making his way to the cage is Tyler Watkins, the 27-year-old from Arcata, California, relative newcomer to the Bay Area combat scene, Steven.
Yes, and Watkins is coming in, fighting in a southpaw style with experience in Army Combatives program with 2 years of jiu-jitsu out of Lost Boys camp from Arcata.
Yeah, one of the 3 Lost Boys fighters coming all the way from Humboldt County, about 5-6 hours away north of here. Alongside his teammates Austin Moore and Andrew Guisa, who's going to be in one of the co-main events for the Bay Area Combat 170-pound title against Diego Lopez. And his opponent will be Eugenio Garcia, the 27-year-old out of Napa, California, fighting out of Main Street Hooligans Camp. So we're about to get set with official introductions with Jim Cooley, so we'll send it over to Jim. Actually, we'll give Jim a little time. I got a little ahead of myself there as Watkins is getting his final preparations. Garcia, we've seen him twice here on the Solano College Sports Network. He lost in a submission loss to Sal Osorio, who's also in a co-main event here later tonight. He also picked up a submission win against Anthony Guerin in June 30th of this year. So 3 total fights in his career, all in 2018. 2-1 is his record coming in.
It's amazing. I'm really excited about these fights. Do that Tyler is his first fight, and I really want to see how he fights against Eugenio.
Send it over to Jim.
Martial action in the 145-pound division. The man in charge when the action begins, Mr. Brian Tyler. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, hailing from right here in Napa, California. He represents Napa Fight Sports and weighed in at 146.8 pounds, Eugenio Garcia. His opponent, across the cage in the red corner, makes his home in Arcata, California. He represents the Lost Boys MMA and weighed in at 143.8 pounds, String Bean Tyler Watkins.
So String Bean going up against the hometown favorite Garcia. Obviously got a welcome ovation from this Napa crowd. As Brian Tyler, the referee, getting set for the first of these 3 2-minute rounds.
It'll be interesting to see Garcia's kickboxing style to go up against the Army Combatives program and jiu-jitsu style of Watkins.
So Garcia quickly getting control of the center of the cage, going with a left kick to the side of the body. Good combination of leg kicks and pressuring Watkins early, holding up against the cage.
See if Watkins can use his jiu-jitsu here to get Garcia on the ground.
Yeah, he's going for a trip there with his left leg, trying to push him over, but great base from Garcia to keep his balance. This is right where Watkins wants him, though, with his jiu-jitsu background. He has a good body.
Garcia's fighting for that double leg take.
Has his neck, going for the guillotine. Ooh. Down on top, though. He didn't have his cinched in.
Garcia gets out of it.
He's on top, going for a triangle now, but both arms transitioning to an arm lock. Definitely jiu-jitsu skills shown by Watkins early on.
Absolutely. Great job by Garcia, though, to fight off those lock attempts and try to pass those legs now.
Yeah, Watkins just a little bit off on that guillotine attempt, just didn't have the proper leverage. That triangle choke attempt did have both arms of Garcia were in that hold. So Garcia is just holding on now with 45 seconds left in this first round.
Watkins definitely looks in control in that guard as Garcia tries to hit his midsection there with the right.
Yeah, these strikes are scoring with the judges. He's attacking the head of Watkins from this great position. Watkins trying to use those long legs to shove him off, but Garcia staying in this top position.
Great job by Watkins trying to get his legs up and see if he can get an arm lock there.
So great back and forth battle on the ground here in this featherweight bout between Tyler Watkins and Garcia. Garcia with the hammer fist attempt. Lunging with that right cross. And following up with a flurry of rights again is a Eugenio Garcia. And I think we're actually going to have 3-minute rounds. Sometimes when these fighters can mutually agree to longer rounds, they will go 3 instead of 2. It looks like that is the case here as Garcia still attacking. Going for the arm triangle was Watkins, but again, Garcia fights out of that submission attempt.
Garcia's doing a great job of using his hands here to kind of fend off any attack by Watkins with his legs.
That right hand may have landed on Watkins again with the right hand. So just a flurry of punches from Garcia from this position. Watkins really needs to get off of the ground here or work a submission from the bottom. Has a body triangle with his legs. Maybe going for a Kimura, but again, Garcia fighting off those submission attempts.
It's easy to see why Watkins is nicknamed String Bean, as he uses those legs to really use them to his advantage.
So stellar first round from both of these fighters. It's going to be interesting what the judges value, because you can't fault Watkins for those submission attempts. He was going for several different times, guillotines, triangles, different jiu-jitsu submissions from the bottom, but Garcia was landing punch after punch after punch. What do you think these judges are thinking after that first round, Nicole?
I'm thinking that it's going to be really difficult to judge this round. Both fighters show their background 100%. We saw in the red corner the jiu-jitsu tactics, and then we definitely saw in the blue corner the kickboxing side. So I'm waiting to see the results.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to gauge these judges for the rest of the card as well. If you're a fighter in the back, you have to see what these judges are valuing if your bout does go the full 3 rounds. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one's scored.
Now, Steve Barnett from Bay Area Combat likes to mix up the styles in the matches that he puts together. So I think that this is a great fight for what he likes to try to accomplish in the ring.
Yeah, absolutely entertaining first round. We'll see if these fighters can follow up with an equally exciting second round as round 2 is underway. Garcia again with the leg kick and pressuring Watkins against the cage early. Same game plan as round 1.
Let's see if Watkins can get him to the ground here.
Yeah, this time Watkins, though, has a position against the cage, going for a double leg takedown. He would love to work from the top position, unlike round 1 where he kept working from the bottom.
Garcia here seems to be doing a pretty good job with his base. Oh, and he's taken down.
He has an arm underneath the neck of Watkins. Let's see how deep this is. He was probably going to go for a guillotine, perhaps. He has one leg over, trying to crank the neck of Watkins.
Watkins could be in trouble here.
Yeah, Watkins is staying calm, trying to arm fight and get the grip under his neck off of him from Garcia. Trying to use the cage now to roll over. And he's able to escape. What an escape from Watkins using that cage.
Absolutely. It looked like Garcia wasn't able to get his right hand underneath to really crank on that neck.
And with that escape, he now has good top position against Garcia, trying to work into some side control. Maybe take his back if Garcia gives it to him. And now maybe working for an arm triangle attempt from Watkins. He wants to pass over the hips of Garcia and get on the other side of him, but Garcia using his legs to block that attempt. And Garcia now ends up on top. So back and forth battle on the ground from both of these fighters.
Garcia is definitely showing off tonight. That recovery was amazing.
Watkins trying to use those string bean legs to get some distance between him and Garcia. Leg triangle perhaps, but no. Definitely doesn't have the legs underneath the neck to get that submission.
Garcia striking with those rights there, and it's really taking a beating is Watkins.
Yeah, we'll see how much Brian Tyler will watch this from his refereeing position as he's letting both fighters fight here in the second round. A minute left in round number 2.
Garcia doing his best to try to fight off those legs and keep landing.
Going for the leg triangle. And you got to see Watkins getting a little
Getting
spent there,
tired.
fatigue with open mouth breathing from Watkins. All these attempts from the bottom have to be wearing on him.
And Garcia definitely looks like he has the benefit of strength here.
And now Watkins.
But Watkins also has a benefit of being taller than Garcia, and he's been showing up when he's on the ground with the legs. He keeps pushing Garcia away.
A good scramble, trying to get the back, but Garcia blocks that attempt from Watkins. I think Watkins is a little too tired, trying to go for a guillotine. His left arm is underneath, trying to crank back. No, Garcia doing a great job of blocking those guillotine attempts from Watkins.
Yeah, I think Garcia is definitely going to get saved by the horn here because it looked like Watkins was definitely starting to get the upper hand.
So 2 rounds in this featherweight bout. Back and forth they go. Watkins going submission attempt after submission attempt, but Garcia landing haymakers once again. It's almost a mirror of round 1.
This is a great round, to be honest. I'm really proud of Watkins. We have to remember, it's his first fight, and he's showing off too. He needs to be obviously careful because he's getting tired, and Garcia, we know that he lasts.
Yeah, in this next round, I look for Garcia to maybe see if he can keep it on the feet and, get some of those right hands landed onto Watkins because there's definitely a good chance of a TKO here in the 3rd round.
Yeah, fatigue is going to be an important factor here in round number 3 as Watkins, as we mentioned, first fight here for Camo. Garcia, in his 3 previous fights, only one went 3 rounds and went to decision. So Garcia only been in this 3rd round once in his fighting career here at the amateur ranks. Round 3 getting set. Brian Tyler, the referee, clearing the ring of any sort of debris that the coaches brought in when they talked to their fighters. So Garcia, Watkins, featherweight bout getting set here in Napa, California. Brian Nelson, Stephen Babb, Nicky Requejo here on the call here at the Napa Exposition Hall for Bay Area Combat. And we are getting set and underway with round number 3. Both these fighters fighting valiantly. Again, leg kick from Garcia to start out. The southpaw switches to orthodox in Watkins, going with that straight right hand.
Garcia seeing if he can land some kicks here to the body of Watkins and take advantage of his fatigue.
Yeah, Garcia looks fatigued as well. Already breathing from the mouth at the start of the round. Going for a head kick blocked by Garcia. Great combination from Garcia. Watkins looks a little rocked.
If Garcia can land those, I definitely think he could get a knockout here.
Spinning back fist lands. Kick to the body as well to Watkins. Garcia looking to pick him apart on the feet.
Yeah, Watkins definitely wants to try to take this fight to the ground here because I don't think he's going to survive standing up.
Yeah, the first 2 rounds, he had a fighting chance on the ground using his jiu-jitsu, but Garcia landing some punches here in round number 3.
That kickboxing experience definitely coming in handy here in the 3rd round.
So a minute has passed, 2 minutes left. These fighters have to be tired. Again, 3-minute rounds are usually reserved for the championship fights. As again, combinations from Garcia landing on Watkins. Watkins showing great toughness with his jaw, being able to absorb those hits.
Yeah, the first 2 rounds were definitely a toss-up between these 2 fighters as far as points goes, but it looks like Garcia has the upper hand.
As soon as Watkins switches to a southpaw stance, Garcia going back to those leg kicks. Oh, great left hook to the face of Watkins.
String being definitely stunned on that one.
Right eye swelling for Watkins with all of those attacks to the head from Garcia. Those left hooks landing, body kick, followed by combination.
Watkins needs to start attacking on this round. If not, I don't think he can
That
take
leg
it.
kick really effective against that lead leg against Watkins as that knee buckled.
Maybe a lack of boxing experience here by Watkins, not having his hands up to try to block any of these punches from Garcia.
Yeah, the experience definitely sets in when you're this tired. Sometimes instincts take over, and when you don't have those instincts built into you quite yet,
Great left kick there by Garcia. Oh, and a spinning back fist that misses.
Yeah, luckily for Watkins, he was going for a strike of his own, and he evaded that spinning back fist as 40 seconds remain in this fight. This round 3, staying on the feet, unlike the first 2 rounds.
Oh, Garcia throwing
Garcia going with those hooks right there.
Yeah, those left-right hooks combinations landing.
And a really tired right there from Watkins.
Again, leg kick to Watkins' shin as Garcia just swats away the right hand attempt from Watkins.
Yeah, not much behind those punches from Watkins.
Yeah, just looking to score here. He really needs to try to finish in this third round, but with 10 seconds left, not likely as Garcia stays on his feet. Give it up to both of these guys as Napa gives a great ovation to both of these fighters, Tyler Watkins and Eugenio Garcia.
Yeah, both of these fighters are going to walk away from this match feeling pretty good about their efforts in the cage today.
So I think round 3 went to Garcia based off of the striking. Just Watkins, not enough in the tank and not really the accuracy that Garcia had. It's going to be interesting, though, to see what round 1 and round 2 was scored like because of all the submission attempts. Do the judges like that, or were they scoring for Garcia on those strikes?
I totally have to agree with you, Brian. Definitely round 3 was taken by the blue corner. Garcia showed and kept attacking one after the other. When in the red corner, Watkins showed that he was just tired.
So let's put on our prediction hats. What do you think the judges are going to score this one here, Garcia or Watkins, Steven?
I think it's going to go to Garcia. I think even when they were on the ground, he was able to land a lot of key punches to the midsection and face of Watkins. Even though Watkins had some great submission attempts, he wasn't really able to get close to any of them, and Garcia did a great job of evading on the ground.
And Nikki, I'm assuming you kind of agree with that based off of your analysis?
Garcia definitely took the first round, and the second one, maybe we can give it to Watkins, but the third one, Garcia definitely won.
Well, we'll get the official decision from Jim Cooley.
All right, guys, let's bring it in. We're going to take
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 action-packed rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. The judges scored this bout 29-28, 29-28, and 29-27, all for your winner by unanimous decision. In the blue corner, Eugenio Garcia.
So a 10-8 round was actually given to Garcia, but Watkins picked up a round from each of the judges, but unanimous decision went for Garcia. He moves to 3-1 in his career. Watkins falls to 0-1. Any final thoughts from this fight?
Go ahead and call me Jeannie, Brian.
Yeah, that prediction hat fits well. So we will go next to our next bout with Christopher Ryan Fernandez and Isaiah Perales, and a lightweight bout coming up next after this break. We're back in a lightweight bout. Before we get to this, unfortunately have to tell you that we're experiencing terrible technical difficulties with our ring camera, so we won't be able to get you some of these entrance shots or the ring shots inside the cage. We'll have to go with these wide shots. So apologies for the technical difficulties, but we will keep moving with this lightweight bout between Christopher Ryan Fernandez, who's making his way down to the cage, against Isaiah Perales.
Fernandez is coming in with a 0-0 record in camo, and he's out of Team Pack-'em Out from Hercules. Isaiah Perez with the Asylum Fight Team from Vallejo with a record of 1-1.
Definitely a fight of young people. Christopher Fernandez is only 26, and Isaiah Perales is 23. It's a 3-year difference, so it might affect him, it might not. I think we'll see the fight.
Yeah, and Perales, we recorded his first career amateur fight at the last Bay Area Combat Show, where he picked up a TKO win over Colton Newmarch. After that, in August 25th of this year, he lost a unanimous decision loss to Chris Mitchell. So coming in with a 1-1 record as Fernandez, as Steven mentioned, no record.
The fight styles in this round are going to be pretty interesting, as there's Armas de Mano Muay Thai from Fernandez and an MMA fighting style from Perales in the camo shorts.
So we'll keep an eye on Fernandez in the clinch there for Muay Thai, as we'll send it over to Jim Cooley with the official introductions.
3 rounds of mixed martial arts action in the 160-pound division. The man in charge when the action begins, the educator, James Fanchier. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, hailing from Vallejo, California. He represents Asylum Fight Team in Rappacon's martial arts. He weighed in at 162 pounds even. The Sexy Ninja, Isaiah Perales. His opponent, across the cage in the red corner, makes his home in Pinole, California. He represents Pack 'em Out and weighed in at 161.2 pounds. Tonight, he makes his mixed martial arts debut, Christopher Fernandez.
So Christopher Fernandez and Isaiah Perales getting set for 3 2-minute rounds.
It'll be interesting to see if Fernandez' southpaw stance with his Muay Thai background comes to his advantage.
As Fernandez trying to get center of the cage control as Perales goes with some kicks. Lightning fast action to start. Not much landing. Really just trying to get the range as that left kick from Fernandez. Perales pressuring with some punches, and he caught the chin of Fernandez, but Fernandez with the takedown with top position.
Yeah, it was a great takedown by Fernandez during those flurry of punches to just look for the leg for the one-leg takedown.
Body triangle from Perales as Fernandez trying to work and take the back of Perales, going with right hooks right underneath. I don't think they were accurately placed, though, just missing the chin of Perales.
Yeah, it looked like it, but I mean, even a little bit there was a lot of power behind him.
Yeah, a lot of power, a lot of quick movement from both of these lightweights. The shorter Fernandez packs a punch.
Yeah, let's see if Perales can use his reach to his advantage as he's landing a left there.
Perales impressively very accurate with those short jabs. Not as much power as Fernandez is putting, but at least landing more on the head of Fernandez.
Yeah, great job by Perales there trying to avoid the takedown.
There, a weak kick attempt from Perales misses as both these fighters with 1 minute left in this first round, trading blows.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that Muay Thai boxing experience is definitely going to benefit Fernandez here as he's able to evade some of those strikes.
Yeah, surprisingly, Perales went into the clinch and tried to hit a knee, trying to show him his own Muay Thai skills. So 30 seconds left in this round number 1.
Great leg block there by Perales.
Yeah, I think when both fighters have those opposite stances, they want to kick that lead leg. Oh, that left hook from Perales almost knocked out Fernandez, but what a chin on that guy.
Absolutely. It looked like his eyes might have started to fade there just for a second, but was able to regain
his composure with 10 seconds left. Maybe trying to work a takedown for one of these fighters. Just trying to score here with 10 seconds left.
I think Fernandez is just trying to survive at this point to the end of the round. Oh, as he takes another left to the chin.
And so a fast and furious first round for both of these fighters as Fernandez and Perales, a vastly different fight from our last one with Garcia and Watkins being all on the ground for the first 2 rounds. Both these fighters content staying on their feet. And Perales' striking ability really accurately shown in that first round as opposed to Fernandez. A little bit wild, but a little bit more power for Fernandez.
Yeah, I definitely think Fernandez is packing some more power in round 2. If he's able to land some of those, I'm not sure if Perales is going to be able to survive. But Fernandez is in a little bit of trouble here because Fernandez is definitely landing some of those lefts right to the chin.
And with Perales being the taller fighter, I don't think he's used to having the reach advantage in too many fights, but in this one, he's using that reach and that accuracy to his advantage by keeping Fernandez away with those punches.
Yeah. Fernandez might not be attacking every single second of the fight, but he's taking his time, and every punch that he's doing strongly. So I think we have a strong fighter here.
Yeah, normally for a southpaw, you have an advantage because you can see the rights coming, and it's over his right-hand shoulder that those lefts are coming, and it might be a little bit of a disadvantage in this situation.
So straight pump kick from Fernandez, and that one hit him, clipped him, and he is down. Perales in the full mount going to town on the face of Fernandez.
Perales going right, left, right, left.
Now has the back going with the hammer fist. Fernandez working from the bottom, though, to try to get up. Perales going for the guillotine, actually going for the rear naked choke.
Fernandez, great job spinning out of it.
Fernandez fighting, trying to stay alive. In the clinch now with the knees.
Perales going with those knees, exactly.
Using that Muay style against Fernandez.
Now Fernandez, he's got to be a little bit weak in those legs after being rocked like that from Perales, but the heart on that kid, the chin on that kid, very impressive. And that right hand connects yet again from Perales. Looking to follow up again, a right hand nailed by Perales.
Yeah, Fernandez is in trouble here. Oh, and he hits it with a right.
Fernandez knocks down Perales.
What a right from Fernandez.
Back and forth. I can't believe this second round.
That's incredible to take a beating like that and still stand up, put your chin in there, and throw that right.
We talk about the aggression that Fernandez has in those powerful punches and only took one. And now he has top position as Perales using that body triangle to keep him in this position, trying to use that cage to scoot and sit up. Some left-handed shots to the face from Fernandez to Perales. As under 30 seconds left in this one.
Like we say, Brian, sometimes it's not about how much you do, but what you do, and Fernandez definitely showed us that he was all about that.
Yeah, this is a fight in every sense of the word, and Fernandez is fighting to stay alive in this second round, and now he is in a great position here with 10 seconds left in the second round.
Great punches landed in a little ground and pound there, and I think Perales is definitely feeling that right now.
Oh, and Perales going for an arm submission there at the end, but the buzzer sounds for round number 2.
Oh, and it looks like that Fernandez is coming away quite bloody with a cut over his left eye. I'm not sure what Perales did there. We didn't quite have the angle, but wow.
Yeah, and unfortunately with our camera angles, we're going to have to stay wide for a majority of these fights coming up, but what action here in the second round. Fernandez's vision going to be important for the fights going forward. With that cut right above his eyebrow, his vision could be obstructed here in the third round.
Yeah, it's hard to see who's going to have the upper hand here in the third. You know, that the first round was a little bit of back and forth. You know, we've seen some great shots from Fernandez that just didn't quite land, whereas Perales was able to get some of those lefts right on the chin of Fernandez. But in that last round, Fernandez definitely connected with that right against Perales, and it really took him down right off his feet.
But in the beginning of that second round, too, Perales knocked down Fernandez and followed up with a flurry of punches that connected. Fernandez hit one big hit and then kind of laid on him for the rest of the round. So I could even see Perales even sneaking out the second one just on sheer volume of that first half, but not as clear-cut as the beginning of the round suggested when Perales knocked down Fernandez. So this third round underway from these two fighters. Again, Perales nails that right.
Fernandez able to kind of evade and get in the clinch and see if he can get a takedown here.
And Fernandez trying to use that Muay Thai experience and use that clinch to his advantage. Perales actually has been using the clinch more often than Fernandez has.
And utilizing his legs with the knees and leg kicks a lot more than Fernandez.
And so Fernandez trying to use those kicks to keep Perales at bay. And Perales key forward, and he connects under the chin again of Fernandez.
Fernandez's left eye is definitely bleeding pretty heavy here.
So back and forth in this round number 3. Inner leg kick from Perales. Great job to take away the base of Fernandez.
Yeah, that right just missed from Fernandez.
Again, right to the chin. Perales is...
You can definitely tell how Fernandez's side is definitely compromised and that he's getting fatigued. He's tired.
Yeah, both these fighters getting tired after 5 minutes of very intense action. The last minute, round 3 coming up. Perales so accurate with those strikes.
Yeah,
Good leg kick from Fernandez.
That overhand right really landed pretty squarely on Fernandez.
40 seconds left in this fight as both of these fighters slowing down the pace. I think fatigue setting in for both these fighters. Both have been knocked down in that second round. A little side kick from Perales.
Fernandez definitely trying to see if he can connect on one of those rights again and take Perales off his feet.
Yeah, Fernandez with the body punch to get Perales away from his clinch.
Straight left there from Perales.
So 10 seconds left. Inner leg kick. Oh, Fernandez falls. That wasn't a knockdown, though. I think the judges see that. I think that was just sheer exhaustion.
Yeah, it looks like he slipped a little bit there with his left leg.
That's important for the judges to catch that. It wasn't a knockdown. It was just a slip and a capitalization from Perales.
Great sportsmanship here. Fernandez knows that he was on his back there and really gave it up to Perales. What a fight.
Yeah, and you can hear the ovation from the crowd, giving their appreciation for both of these fighters. So, in summation, a really good back and forth fight between these two lightweights for Christopher Fernandez and Isaiah Perales, both using their striking ability Prowl is more accurate, but Fernandez laid that hit in the second round.
We cannot forget that he's Fernandez's first fight too.
Yeah, he's definitely going to take this experience with him and know that maybe a little bit more stamina going through into the later rounds, but he should definitely be pleased with some of his strikes.
Absolutely, Steven.
And Peral is trying to bounce back after a unanimous decision loss against Chris Mitchell. Again, going 3 rounds has to benefit his fighting career going forward, as this is his 3rd fight since June. It's a lot of activity trying to capitalize on some of the things that he's learned in his MMA training at such a young age, at only 23 years of age.
All right, guys, I want to say something real quick. First
So let's send it to Jim Cooley for an announcement.
Fight before, that was a great fight. But keep in mind, all that blood, all that swelling, this was his first fight, and he kept on coming, guys.
You ready, Jim? Come on in, fighter. Where's the camera?
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 incredible rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges see this bout the same way. For your winner by unanimous decision, the sexy ninja, Isaiah Perales.
And so Isaiah Perales picks up his victory in this lightweight bout. Coming up next, we have Nick Hornberger versus Mark Vargas in a welterweight bout coming up next.
Jacob Ma here with Solano Sports Broadcast Network, and I'm here with Terrence Saturn and making his amateur debut at Bay Area Combat. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. About yourself, man?
Very good. First question for you, man. This is your debut, and you're going up against Misael Sara. Tell me what you predict for the fight.
Just gonna go on there, do my thing. I'm gonna try and get a quick finish. It doesn't really matter if it's knockout or submission, whatever he gives me. But regardless, I'm ready for it. Whatever, you know, a quick finish or a 3-round war. It don't matter to me.
Good to hear, man. I'm happy to hear that. So, you fight for Nobody MMA, and we have a fellow broadcaster here that always worked with there, and Brandon Kyle. Tell me how you guys' relationship's been since you started working there.
Me and Coach B are cool. He's my advanced striking coach. So I see him like Mondays and Wednesdays. He's cool. I'd say we're pretty close, I guess.
No worries. And then my last question is, you're a wrestler background, and the guy you're fighting is more jiu-jitsu background. So what do you do to train for somebody that's a different background than you are in fighting?
Well, since we heard that he's like a jits guy, I mean, I've been working a lot of submission defense, you know, and I mean, I take jiu-jitsu too. I mean, I'm not just predominantly a wrestler. Like, I practice every single thing. This is MMA, so.
You want to be well-rounded.
I want to be well-rounded, exactly. I want to be well-rounded, and I practice jiu-jitsu, you know, just as much as I practice anything else. So I doubt that he's going to do anything to me that I haven't seen before. And, yeah, I mean, I feel ready. I feel ready to go. I'm not worried about anything that he's going to throw at me. So, yeah.
All right. As for me, I'm Jacob Marr. This is Terrence Saintern, and thank you.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, hailing from right here in Napa, California. He represents Napa Valley MMA. He holds an unblemished mixed martial arts record, 2 big wins, no defeats. The Slim Reaper, Mark Vargas. His opponent, across the cage in the red corner, makes his home in Sonoma, California. He represents Musha Martial Arts, and tonight makes his mixed martial arts debut, Nick Hornberger.
So the debuting Hornberger versus Mark Vargas, the 2-0 Napa Valley MMA fighter, getting set for 3 2-minute rounds here in Napa.
And Vargas's 2-0 record is with 2 knockouts we've seen here from Bay Area Combat this year.
So Vargas and Hornberger underway as Hornberger starting aggressively with leg kicks, and he clips Vargas, and Vargas is down, but he is scrambling to get back to his feet and does. Good knee from Hornberger to Vargas's body.
Yeah, Vargas a good job there to get back to his feet.
Yeah, recovered quickly, going for the guillotine attempt. Vargas trying to push off. Hornberger looks like he has that pretty deep. Going to the ground now, trying to use his legs to gain some pressure. But Vargas trying to stay calm, use those hands to get the hands of Hornberger off.
Vargas trying to see if he can worm that left arm in there and try to break that grasp. by Hornberger.
And use that left arm to the throat of Hornberger to slip out, and he does. Now he has great top position going for maybe a full mount. You're using, trying to get
trying to take the back.
choke. Yep, and he does. Great float over. He has a great body triangle.
And he's got it locked. Let's see if he can hold it.
It is deep, folks. He is flattened out, and it is all over.
Oh my gosh, great job by Mark Vargas there to really regain control of this match.
Mark Vargas with his 3rd stoppage win in his career, coming in with 2 TKO victories, and now via rear naked choke.
Yeah, I'd like to just send a quick shout out to the Vargas family. I know his brothers Sam and John are here to root him on. Mom watching at home, and really they got to see quite a match here today.
Yeah, Hornberger started as the aggressor. You got to expect his adrenaline was pumping in his first amateur fight, and he came out with a great 1-2 combination of left leg kick, right overhand. But Vargas actually got clipped, but he showed great poise to get back on his feet and work to this victory here this evening.
Yeah, I think a lot of more inexperienced fighters would have been shook after that and not been able to recover the way that Vargas did.
Yeah, so that action happened very quickly. Nick Hornberger going to lose his first fight, fighting out of Sonoma, California, Mushu Martial Arts. Mark Vargas, the local guy out of Napa, California. We'll send it over to Jim Cooley for the official announcement.
Referee Phil Baldacci has called a stop to this contest. Your winner via tap out due to rear naked choke, and still undefeated, the Slim Reaper, Mark Vargas.
So the Slim Reaper has his 3rd victim in his career as he moves to 3-0 as Nick Hornberger falls 0-1 in this welterweight bout. Next up, we have a middleweight bout between Austin Moore and Samuel Braden coming up next. Austin Moore taking on Samuel Braden, who stands in the cage. Now, Austin Moore comes in with a 0-0 record, but Steven, he has a lot of experience for 0-0.
He absolutely does. He's got a lot of unsanctioned experience. He's 3-0 in boxing, 5-0 in MMA, and in his sanctioned fights, he's 1-0 with kickboxing for his style and 3-0 in MMA sanctions. So even though he's got an 0-0 record with Camo, he definitely has a lot of fighting experience. He also holds the welterweight championship belt for Hard Fought Productions at the 170-pound weight class. So he definitely is coming in with a lot of experience.
Yeah, so Samuel Braden shouldn't take him very lightly. Both of these fighters are 24 years of age, both orthodox fighters. Moore coming in from Crescent City, California, one of the Lost Boy MMAs. We saw Tyler Watkins lose his fight against Garcia, looking to put Lost Boys on the board here with their first victory on the card. Samuel Braden, on the other hand, from Sassoon City, California, training with Nobody MMA. We actually recorded his one career victory against Albino Lopez last time we were here in Napa. And we'll send it over to Jim Cooley with the official introduction of both fighters. Actually, I keep jumping the gun there with Jim.
Not a problem. We can go ahead and go over Braden's experience here. He was a wrestler in high school for 2 years, his junior and senior year, and he also is an assistant wrestling coach back at his alma mater. He is also trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, gi and no gi, along with kickboxing and some more MMA experience.
And he actually trains with one of our contemporaries at Solano Community College, Brandon Kyle, one of our past broadcasters at Nobody MMA. He has a teammate fighting on the card as well, Terrence A. Turn, who you'll see later on. Now we'll send it over to Jim Cooley.
Martial arts action in the middleweight division. Third man in the cage when the action begins, Mr. Brian Tyler. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, hailing from Sassoon, California. He represents Train for Life and Nobody MMA. He weighed in at 184 pounds even. He holds a mixed martial arts record, 1 big win, no defeats. Samuel Braden. His opponent, across the cage in the red corner, hailing from Crescent City, California. He represents Lost Boys MMA. And tonight, he makes his mixed martial arts debut. He weighed in at 185.8 pounds. Austin Moore.
So Braden going to have the height advantage in this matchup at the middleweight division. Brian Tyler is going to be your referee for this middleweight bout as they're just, I think, readjusting one of the kick pads for Moore before they exit the cage. They took some tape off, actually.
And I think this is going to be an interesting fight because although Moore doesn't have the camo experience, he does have a lot of fighting experience under his belt.
And we've seen on this card what experience can do for a fighter in terms of composure. So both fighters have some experience. We'll see what this middleweight bout has in store for us as we are set. Both fighters touch gloves as Braden takes the center of the cage. Coming out swinging is Moore.
Watch for Braden's wrestling experience to come into play with maybe some takedowns and groundwork.
Yeah, with the length advantage, he'll have the opportunity to shoot for maybe some single and double legs. And there is the double leg right on cue. It puts him up against the cage, trying to lift him up. Moore going with the guillotine choke.
Yeah, it's a great job by Moore to stay on his feet. Oh, and the takedown.
Just swept the leg, Danielson.
That was a great approach by Samuel Braden.
But still a guillotine hold from Moore from the bottom.
Braden trying to get that arm wrapped around. Looks like someone's bleeding.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll check to see if maybe Braden got cut on that exchange.
Moore doing a good job on his back to keep that guillotine, half guillotine in there as he's trying to sneak his right arm around.
Some elbows from Braden to the side of Austin Moore. And he passes for side control now. He's in great position to maybe score with those right shots to the body or maybe some elbows.
Braden does have his left hand back around the neck of Moore. Let's see what he can get
going for the head-arm triangle perhaps and going with those left haymakers to the face of Moore now.
Oh, Moore trying not to give us back here, but Braden trying to take it.
Yeah, it's only an outstretched arm, and now he has hit an arm under the neck of Austin Moore. Let's see how long Austin Moore can hang on there. Only one hook is in for the legs of Samuel Braden. His left leg would like to maybe position up a little bit more and flatten out Austin Moore and truly get the back.
Yeah, Austin doing a good job of trying to fight out of it with only 10 seconds left in here to go in a round.
Yeah, and Braden now giving up on the submission attempt and trying to score with some punches to the side of the head of Austin Moore. So Samuel Braden will score some points late from really good position on the bottom, on top for Samuel Braden. And so this middleweight round one is over. How do you see this one playing out, Nicole?
I definitely think that the blue corner took this round. The blue corner definitely took this round.
Mm-hmm.
Braden definitely show advantage by attacking more and taking control in the ground.
But Moore's experience definitely coming through to evade some of those chokes that Braden tried to place on Moore.
And Samuel Braden's game plan seemed pretty evident, really just trying to gauge the timing of Austin Moore's strikes early, trying to see an opening to get this fight on the ground, and he took it, eventually getting the takedown in round one and getting some offense with his striking. Not able to put him away with submission, but we'll see how round two shakes out for Samuel Braden.
I'm still trying to see who was bleeding here. There was a lot of blood on Braden's arm and chest, so I'm not sure if it's coming from Moore or where it's coming from.
And so round two, they might have stopped the blood on Braden himself, but round two underway with 2 minutes in this round as both fighters posturing.
Oh, and Moore going for the takedown this time. Oh, and there's a knee.
Blow. So they'll take time. We'll stop the clock as the referee will admonish Austin Moore over in the corner.
Yeah, definitely unintentional there. He was just trying to get maybe a knee to the stomach of Braden.
And that happens in the sport of MMA. When people move, the target misses, obviously. And so an inadvertent strike to the groin of Samuel Braden. If it happens again, that could be a point deduction for Austin Moore.
Yeah, and now I see where the blood's coming from. It's from Braden's nose, so I'm not exactly sure where it came in the first round, but Moore got him at some point.
So referee Brian Tyler starts the clock once again as round two back underway. Inside leg kick from Austin Moore. Going to the high now.
A great left kick from Moore, showing that Muay Thai experience.
And now Braden wants to kick back as he goes for the inside leg kick to both the right and left legs of Austin Moore. Fakes with the bicycle kick. Now switching to southpaw, now back to orthodox is Samuel Braden, as now Moore in the southpaw position.
I'm looking to see more kicks from Moore because that landed nice and square against Braden.
Oh, right on the chin of Braden, and he is down. Fight is over. Brian Tyler stops it. Austin Moore with the left hook right under the chin of Samuel Braden.
What an amazing left-hand punch from Moore, lands just squarely and dropped the bigger Braden to his back. What a fantastic finish to this fight.
And all you need is that small opportunity, and Austin Moore took full advantage as he snuck that left hand under the chin of Samuel Braden, followed up with some hammer fist, but Braden looks like he's going to need some time to recover from that one.
Yeah, Braden was definitely out cold as he was still trying to fight. His referee was trying to check on him. He thought he was still in the match.
And so you'll see Austin Moore on the cage celebrating with the folks at Napa, while Samuel Braden is checked out in the middle of the cage by the EMTs ringside. And obviously, I think the health of these fighters is the utmost importance here at the amateur level. A lot of these fighters are fighting for hobbies, trying to become professionals. You hate to see injuries at this level. So.
No, I completely agree. And Moore definitely showed his composure, and all that experience came into play and really handy. It looks like he may have a cut on the back of his arm, but that left just landed so squarely to finish the match. Like, it's just unbelievable.
So Austin Moore is going to pick up, you listed his accolades before, now he's going to have another accolade with 1-0 in his amateur fighting career here at Camo. Samuel Braden, unfortunately, falls to 1-1 after his knockout win over Albino Lopez back in June. And his corner finally gets back in the ring to check on their fighter.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that on the ground, Braden's wrestling experience came into play, but just did not give him any help on while they were standing.
Yeah, the change in game plan didn't work out for Braden there. The takedown really worked, and he was able to score a lot from the top position. Probably would have won round one had this gone to a judge's scorecard, but there Braden and Moore decided to stand up, really trade leg kicks a lot, and ultimately Moore finished him with that left.
To be honest, I'm really surprised about the result at this fight. I know that Moore has a lot of experience. However, he was like all over the place for a second. So it was this lucky shot that got him the fight.
Yeah, and Jim Cooley getting the crowd to acknowledge Samuel Braden after giving such a hard-fought effort. We'll send it over to Jim for the official announcement of this match.
Referee Brian Tyler has called a stop to this contest. Your winner via knockout, Austin Moore!
So Austin Moore moves to 1-0. Lost Boys get their first win here on the card of October Fist, brought to you by Bay Area Combat. Our next bout is a light heavyweight bout between Hack Culling and Corey Vale. Coming up next. So Corey Vale and Hack Culling in this light heavyweight bout. Coming up next here on the Solano College Sports Network. Brian Nelson here with Stephen Babb and Nikki Raquejo. Stephen, tell us a little bit about the man about to approach the cage, Hack Culling.
So Hack Culling is coming in without any camo experience. However, he is an experienced fighter with boxing, kickboxing, and wrestling in his repertoire out of Fairfield, California. He is representing Team Hawaiian in the Filthy Few.
And Corey Vale is his opponent at 31 years of age from Sonoma, California, representing First to Fight as his team. Interesting, both of these fighters kind of have similar backgrounds in that both are boxers, both have a ground discipline where Culling has wrestling, Vale has jiu-jitsu, and a striking discipline where Culling has kickboxing and Vale has Muay Thai. So interesting matchup here. Jim Cooley with official introductions.
In the light heavyweight division, the man in charge when the action begins, the educator James Banchier. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, hailing from Sonoma, California. He represents First first to fight in Napa Fight Sports. He weighed in at 198.8 pounds. Tonight, he makes his mixed martial arts debut, Corey the Body Bill. His opponent, across the cage in the red corner, makes his home in Richmond, California. He weighed in at 206.5 pounds. Representing Team Hawaiian MMA, he also makes his mixed martial arts debut here this evening, Hack Cooley!
So a couple of debut fighters here at Bay Area Combat Oktoberfest in the light heavyweight division. 3 2-minute rounds getting set.
Now, Brian, I grew up with a lot of Islanders, and there can be some scary folks. Shout out BJ Penn, one of my favorite MMA fighters of all time.
Yeah, so we'll see if he can bring the Island love here and the Island strength as...
Looked like he's going for an early knockout with a takedown.
Just a clubbing blow. That was an actual punch that knocked down Vail.
Yeah, he just used his weight advantage and just overbodied him.
An 8-pound advantage in the weight category, coming in the weight as Culling looking to strike from the top.
Yeah, he definitely took advantage of his weight. He just like leaned down and took
Use his power. And an interesting tactic from Culling just to let Vail stand up on his own. Clearly more comfortable striking.
With that right haymaker and another one followed up with a nice combination of left and rights. Culling.
Oh, going for a guillotine now to stop the striking barrage from Culling. And the referee tells him not to grab onto the trunks of Vail. Knees to the thigh of Hack Culling.
With that flurry of punches, let's see if Culling is maybe a little winded and see what he can do here as Vail tries to get that guillotine.
Yeah, he's moving his hand position, trying to get under the neck a little bit more. Trying to pull down and get his back. And no, hammer fists to the side of the face. And getting out of it is Culling, pressing forward, and Vail knocks him down, following up.
I'm not sure if that was a knockdown or a fall back.
Yeah, back somersault.
It looked like a fall back. I think Culling definitely needs to be aware of his weight and his body. I think he's a little bit all over the place.
I agree. He's definitely trying to get those strikes to land for a possible TKO here in the first round.
He needs to control a little bit more.
Coming in on 10 seconds left in this round number 1. Hack Culling and Corey Vail both posturing in the center of the cage, looking for some last-minute points before the round ends. But I think both fighters were ready to take a little breather there. And the big boys at 205 and 206 and 198.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with Corey Vail's ability to keep his composure and, really keep his head in this fight and, really try to take a little bit of an advantage over Culling. And Culling's definitely getting a little bit winded out there with these haymakers and just trying to do, I think, too much in the first round.
So, Nicole, after watching that round 1, who do you give the edge to here, Culling or Vail, after that round 1 performance?
This is a difficult one because Corey Vail didn't do much, but he was defending a lot more, and he didn't fail when Culling was all over the place throwing punches after punches, but he did fall twice. So if it was me, I would give it to the blue corner.
Okay. And there's a Corey chant as you're giving your analysis there, as Napa showing their support for Vail.
Culling is bleeding a little bit from his nose. Vail was able to land a little bit in that round. And it'll be interesting to see the strategies from both corners in this second round.
As the cage door is locked and round 2 is underway. Both fighters touch gloves in the center of the cage.
Kind of sizing each other up now.
Yeah, I think this bout isn't going to go to the ground too much after Culling led up Vail after an opportunity of knocking him down in the first round. If it's up to Culling, I think he wants to stay striking.
I'm a little bit worried about Culling because he's letting his guard down for a long time.
It's up to Vail to capitalize on that and see that.
Yeah, Culling switching stances and kind of trying to switch up looks for Vail, and Vail just kind of trying to keep it calm.
Yeah, that's really smart to try to change the angle of the entry of those punches a lot of the best strikers, it's not necessarily that they strike the hardest, but it's the angle that they come in that they don't see coming and can't protect from.
Really try to land squarely.
And there, that hit Vail pretty flush, but Vail showing his tough chin.
Yeah, it was a great right there by Culling.
But a pretty inactive first minute of this round number 1. Not a ton of points scored from either side.
Culling looking winded already. See if Vail can take advantage.
And that's the thing about at these weight classes. I think cardio is very important. As again, losing his footing is Culling. Vail trying to capitalize with some strikes. You can tell there's a lot of boxing experience in that background of Hat Culling, moving his head off the center line.
Yeah, but really putting his weight behind those punches, I don't think is going to work out for him too well. I think Vail might be able to take advantage of that as the rounds go on.
So we're approaching 10 seconds left in this round number 2. And again, not a ton of activity in this round 2. So when it's a coin flip like this, round 3 is going to be very crucial for both of these fighters.
It is, because I think judges can honestly maybe go either way depending on what they saw.
I'm still rooting for corner blue. I know corner red is still giving a lot, but he's not being strong. He's not being well postured. So for me, it's blue.
Yeah, there's definitely not a lot of polish there coming from Culling. Vail does definitely seem to have just a better poise out there in the cage.
Yeah, Culling keeps falling.
So you are watching Bay Area Combat here on the Solano College Sports Network. Brian Nelson here with Stephen Babb and Nikki Requejo. We were adapting, folks, with our broadcast. We're having a lot of camera issues, so we're adjusting on the fly. So thank you for your patience, for sticking around with us. A lot of exciting action so far with a lot of knockouts and round 3 to come from these 2 light heavyweights that is sure to be entertaining.
Yeah, I think stamina has definitely become a big factor here in round 3.
And sometimes when stamina goes, some desperation sets in and start throwing some big haymakers and try to end this fight as round number 3 is underway.
I'm predicting a knockout here.
Oh, and a kick gets caught by Culling. Culling fakes.
Vail wants to take it to the ground, and Culling wants him to get up. Vail's going to be in trouble here against the cage if he doesn't get up soon.
Yeah, Culling just waiting for Vail to get up and try to strike, but Vail able to get to his feet pretty much unscathed.
Yeah, Culling definitely wants to keep this standing up.
So it looks like his corner is advising him to use some of his leg kicks against Culling.
Culling comes in with some wild punches again.
The public is going crazy. They're rooting for Culling.
Yeah, the crowd's definitely in this one.
As we approach a minute gone by in this 3rd and final round between these 2 light heavyweights. At this point, you got to stop posturing. You have to find a rhythm eventually.
Some more wild punches there by Culling. Vail able to keep his composure and try to land a few of his own.
So 45 seconds left in this fight as both men pretty content to just face off and feint quite a bit.
I think both of them think they have enough points if it goes to decision, but there's just not a lot of composure coming from Culling, and I think Vail might think he has the upper hand.
I think this last 30 seconds, if somebody can blitz with a lot of activity, hit some strikes, they can steal this round 3. And just like that, Culling backs Vail up to the cage.
Looked like he landed one good clean right on the chin of Vail.
So 10 seconds left in this fight. You got to go all out here if you're both fighters. Try to score some last-minute points, and Culling just kind of clawing at Vail, and that one is going to be it for round number 3 as Hat Culling and Corey Vail go the distance here in Napa.
Great embrace there by both fighters. It was definitely a hard fight on both ends. Even though there might not have been a lot of action, both gentlemen were definitely putting their all into it.
Yeah, I would say both these fighters a little tentative, but in this being both their first amateur fights, maybe kind of the thought of not wanting to lose your first fight is set in. we'll see what the judges say. I think the last 2 rounds are very hard to score. There's not a ton of activity from either fighter. And so while we have this little break and wait for the official decision, let's thank some of the sponsors of Oktoberfest. Pleasures Unlimited, Suncoast Awning, Ken Mays Plumbing, Classic Automotive Repair, Fight for a Cure, and Old Coots on Scoots are some of the wonderful people sponsoring this event here in Napa, California for Bay Area Combat. So on behalf of Steve Barnett, they'd like to thank you for your support. And we'll send it over to Jim Cooley with the official announcement of who won this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 big rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges see this bout the same way for your winner by unanimous decision. In the red corner, Hack Coling!
So Hack Coling gets his first career victory, moves to 1-0. Corey Vale falls to 0-1. Next up, we have the big boys in a heavyweight bout, Delwin Garate and Mario Hernandez. And sorry, folks, we actually have a change in the program where this was originally scheduled to be the heavyweight fight, but they moved this flyweight bout up next. So Terrence Saturn is facing Misael Lara, and we have a new broadcaster for this fight in Jacob Marr. And Jacob, you actually know Saturn personally, so tell us a little bit about Saturn's background.
Yeah, Terrence is coming from Armijo High School, and then he's now actually a college student at Solano College. He fights for Nobody MMA, and he's a wrestling background, but he's been training a lot on his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and striking, because this fighter that he's facing tonight is a predominant Jiu-Jitsu fighter.
Yeah, and he is making his debut for Nobody MMA. And Steven, tell us a little bit about his opponent, Misael Lara.
So Misael Lara may or may not be at a little bit of an age disadvantage here, as he's 38 years old and Terrence Saturn is 23. Now, we saw Lara fight the last time we were here for Bay Area Sports Combat, and he took a loss to Alberto Martinez Mendez by TKO back in June. Lara is a blue belt in Nogi Jiu-Jitsu, fighting out of Napa, California.
And we'll go to the introductions with Jim Cooley.
California. He represents Nobody MMA and weighed in at 123.6 pounds, Terrence Saturn. His opponent, across the cage in the red corner, makes his home in Napa, California. He represents Napa Fight Sports and weighed in at 122.5 pounds, Misael the Missile Lara.
So Lara and Saturn getting set for this flyweight bout. 3 2-minute rounds scheduled here in Napa, California, here on the Solano College Sports Network.
I'm expecting this fight to take it to the mat pretty quick with the jiu-jitsu and wrestling backgrounds of both fighters.
I expect a quick pace with flyweights as Saturn goes for a leg kick, but Lara dodges. Spinning back heel kick from Lara misses.
I'm curious to see how much stamina these kids will have as they're the lighter weight class, so I expect them to do a lot more movement around than maybe the light
Saturn working the clinch and going into his striking, but Lara going for some underhooks to try to take him down, but Saturn takes down Lara. Nice trip there from Saturn.
Nice show of his wrestling skills that he's learned back since high school.
And now he's transitioning to try to get full mount, and he has that full mount position over in the corner. Now it's up to Saturn to try to work to score some points, maybe with his striking, or maybe take the back of Lara as he is struggling to get away from the grasp of Saturn.
Oh, Lara tries to fight out of it.
Saturn landing some punches from the back and back up to the feet.
Yeah, Lara went with a single leg to get back to his feet. And now both fighters, again, grappling, like Jacob said, really trying to get things on the ground.
Now, last time we saw Lara fight, he did get a little bit winded as the round went on. See if that's a factor tonight.
Some knees from Saturn to the body of Lara.
It's a great left-right combination from Saturn.
Both fighters were landing shots in that tandem right there.
Yeah, with Saturn's wrestling ability, if he gets his striking to the point where people have to respect it, that really only enhances his wrestling ability. As Saturn, again, working some combinations to Lara. Going with a good leg kick, and it is caught by Lara. Lara trying to go for a single leg perhaps.
Saturn doing great to fight it off.
And he's pinning him up against the cage is Lara with 15 seconds approaching left in this first round. Back trip does not work.
Good defense by Saturn.
Strong ACL by Saturn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, to be able to get a takedown out of that move it's fantastic by Saturn.
So round 1 ends after that trip from Lara. It helps to be 23, I tell you what, on your joints.
I wouldn't know, Brian. I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't either. So after round 1, I think Terrence Saturn looked really good in his MMA debut.
And I definitely think you've seen not just the wrestling, but the striking and the jiu-jitsu, the whole complement of fighting styles, not just the wrestling that he's been focusing on.
No, I completely agree. And yeah, it was a very fantastic showing, I think, for his first round to get out there, maybe get the first round jitters out of the way. And let's see if Lara's kind of age and experience come into play in the second round.
Yeah, and the one thing about Lara is that blue belt in jiu-jitsu that Steven mentioned before the fight, he's very comfortable on the mat as well. And the thing about the difference between wrestling and jiu-jitsu, you teach a lot of finishes in terms of submission attempts. Wrestling, you get a lot of good positions, but what you do in those positions. It looked like Saturn was going for strikes rather than submission attempts.
I agree 100%. I think he was more getting him on his back and then ground and pound after that.
So we will see how round turn shakes out as both fighters are ready after their corners have given them some adjustments for this second round, and we are underway. Both fighters touch gloves in the center of the cage. Straight pump kick to the chest of Saturn, knocks him down like it was 300.
Was able to get back up quick.
Yes, Lara actually paused there. I think he was surprised he knocked Saturn so far back.
Yeah, just a straight kick to the chest, knocked him off his feet. Saturn sprawling, trying to get some head control. And Lara trying to go for a takedown.
It's a great recovery by Saturn.
Oh, yeah, that could have been real bad real fast. Once more shot, and he probably went out.
Yeah, it shows the composure at such a young age of Saturn. Going with the knees to the body.
Definitely showing that ground and pound type attitude now that he's on his back.
Oh, let's see if Saturn can take the back of Lara.
Yeah, that'll be good for a possible rear naked choke, but going with the hammer fist instead with the right hands to the face of Lara.
There you go, Terrence.
Definitely landing some right hands there.
Yeah, I think Steven mentioned an opportunity there, though, for Saturn to really take the back of Lara because he's turning inward towards the body and now trying to pass the side control.
Yeah, Saturn trying to land some knees there to the midsection of Lara.
Here's his chance to go onto his back.
Going to the full mount.
Oh, full mount.
And now he has his back. Oh, no, back to the full mount.
Great ability for Saturn to lock his legs there and try to keep the back.
Yeah, Lara tried to roll out, but he kept him in position and is laying some right hands in on him.
Saturn's got his arm trapped underneath the body of... Oh, he was able to break free.
Yeah, now back to that full mount position.
I think Lara's in trouble here. Keeps trying to roll out, but he's ending up giving up his back to Saturn.
Yeah, Saturn very athletic, flipping his hips very well as round 2 is approaching its end. Both fighters back to their feet, and another takedown for Saturn.
This is when you start to see how fast or how much he knows about wrestling and how many times he's been able to take him down in this round.
Maybe a little guillotine attempt from Lara from the bottom. We'll see if Saturn can survive, and he does. So round 2, much like the first, this is going to be a ground battle, folks, in this flyweight bout between Terrence Saturn and Misael Lara.
I think both fighters have looked very well, but I can definitely see the young age and energy coming out from Saturn compared to Lara right now.
Yeah, Lara was definitely slow to get up at the end of that round. Looks like he's definitely trying to catch his breath here. And I would actually have to give maybe the first 2 round edge to Saturn. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I would lean towards Saturn as well, just his activity up top. Lara being in the bottom position, that's not favorable for judges a majority of the time. And actually the referee is going to call it. So Terrence Saturn gets to celebrate after round 2. The referee checked on Misael Lara, and he says no mas. So Terrence Saturn gets his first career victory due to stoppage.
Very proud of him, very proud of him.
Yeah, and Saturn's camp, Nobody MMA is very proud of him as well. So the referee is going to, I think, tell the judges table
stoppage
what exactly happened.
Good fight from both fighters.
So we'll send it to Jim Cooley right now to the cage side. Yeah, once Saturn and Lara shake hands in sportsmanship. We'll soon send it over to Jim Cooley for the official announcement of Tarrant State Turn's first career victory. EMTs are actually checking on Lara now that he's on the stool, getting iced down from his corner. Maybe an injury. We'll send it over to Jim.
Misael Lara is unable to answer the bell for round number 3. Therefore, referee Phil Baldacci has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes of round number 2. Your winner via technical knockout, Terrence Saturn.
So a TKO victory for Terrence Saturn, gets his record to 1-0. Misael Lara falls to 0-2 in his career. See, next up now with the change in schedule, not sure if they flipped the heavyweight so that it's now or if it's the female under 115 fight. But regardless, we're going to have more MMA action for you right after this. So we have an official verdict for you folks. We have the women's under 115 fight between Valerie Thurs and Heather Smith coming up next. Valerie Thurs in the cage already, and coming to the ring is Heather Smith. Tell us a little bit about Heather, Steven.
So Heather has no official MMA record with combat. She joined Camo it's September 21st of this year. She fights in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style out of Napa, California, Fort Marin MMA.
And her opponent is Valerie Thurs, only 23 years of age, 5'5", fighting out of an orthodox stance from Rockland, California. She is representing No Limit Fighting and Mara Noble's record of 1-0. She did pick up a submission win back in July 21st of this year when she caught a rear naked choke to her opponent Stephanie Bohannon. So Thurs with the experience advantage in that she has a fight under her belt at 23 years of age. Heather Smith, the age advantage in terms of experience with 29 versus the 23-year-old Thurs.
Brian, Steven, who run the world? Girls! I'm going to be honest right now. I'm really excited about this fight. I'm so excited that Bay Area Combat is giving the female athletes this opportunity. To get in the ring. I'm really excited to see what Heather Smith has to offer and see Valerie Thurs kill it today.
Yeah, both of these girls looking to show out for Bay Area Combat. This is the first female fight for Bay Area Combat. If you're a long-standing viewer of Solano College Sports Network, you've seen some of our past fights for Steve. We've seen a few female fights. They've been very electric, a lot of fists flying, a lot of fun. This one should be no different for you. Here in Napa, California, for Oktoberfest for Bay Area Combat. Brian Nelson here with Stephen Babb and Nikki Requejo, getting set to call this under 115 bout between these two fierce females.
One thing I think to look for, Heather Smith at 29 years old, Valerie Thurs at 23. You know, sometimes age doesn't quite make a difference, but you never quite know when there's a little bit of an older opponent.
We'll send it to Jim for the official introductions.
115-pound division. The man in charge when the action begins, the Brian Tyler. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, hailing from Sacramento, California. She represents Mara Noble's fight team and weighed in at 114.2 pounds. She is undefeated in her mixed martial arts campaign. Lethal Bam Bam, Valerie Thurs. Her opponent, across the cage in the red corner, makes her home in San Anselmo, California. She represents Marin MMA and weighed in at 115 pounds even, Heather Smith.
So we're getting set for 3 2-minute rounds between these two women in the under 115-pound division.
Such a lightweight.
Yeah, so expect a lot of fast activity from these two women as
but a lot
the
of
fight is
power.
underway. Yep. Smith looking to be the aggressor there as Thurs takes control.
A great right hand to the body from Smith to Thurs.
Yeah, some just crosses from Thurs, trying to connect to the jaw of Smith.
Definitely more punching composer from Thurs.
Yeah, Smith ducking her head, not really keeping her eye on her target.
She is landing some good body blows, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I actually disagree with you guys a little bit. I'm leaning a little bit more towards Smith right now. She's taking over these fight.
Some hammer fist from Thurs, trying to go for the double leg takedown, and the referee actually caught Thurs using the cage to her advantage, going for maybe an arm submission. As Smith now has the full mount on Thurs. Thurs trying to wriggle free.
Looks like Smith is trying to get Thurs on her stomach to take the back there.
Yeah, that would be a wise decision from Smith. Maybe go for a rear naked choke during this transition. But until then, kind of content to score with some body punches.
Thurs definitely landing some lefts there to Smith.
Yeah, both women striking from this position. We'll see how much longer Brian Tyler, the referee, will keep this position before she stands them up. They are working, however.
Yeah, there is some movement. Looks like, is that Smith trying to get maybe an arm lock?
Yeah, from our angle, it's difficult to see what submission she's really going for. Thurs trying to wriggle free. Yeah, we're just at an impossible angle, folks.
Smith landing some knees there to the back of Thurs.
That's showing some flexibility to
yeah.
actually land a knee strike from this position. But Smith's dominating top position in this round one. Looks like she might get this round on the judges' scorecards as round one comes to an end. So I think the size advantage of Smith factored in during that second half. But Nicole, as you were saying, some of the striking from Smith you were liking early in round one. So round two being set here in Napa, California, here at Bay Area Combat Oktoberfest.
Yeah, actually, I do like the composure of Thurs in that. You know, Smith was coming out with kind of some haymakers and not really landing any clean shots. And I think that Smith, you know, even though she was the aggressor, we saw in an earlier fight, that might come out to her advantage. But I like Thurs to actually come out on top as the rounds go on.
Yeah, and we'll see how both fighters look after their corners give them their respective notes. I think Thurs wants to stay out of the grapple game, really, with Smith being on top. She's very flexible and athletic, so I think if she gets the top position, her corner might like that a little bit more than her working from the bottom.
I have to agree with you because right now in this round, we saw that she was in the bottom, and that takes a lot of energy from the fighter.
Yeah, because you're constantly trying to get out of that position, and Smith did a great job of holding that position throughout round one, as Thurs, again, starting out with some strikes, just some overhead rights.
Yeah, Thurs definitely landing some there, but Smith getting some body blows in of her own.
Yeah, working the clinch, maybe trying to go for a double leg takedown. Now working a single leg, some back fist to the side of the head of Thurs.
Great base by Thurs to try to avoid the takedown here and land some shots.
Yeah, Smith trying to work deep and get a double leg takedown. She gets it. Not an emphatic slam, but it is effective nonetheless.
Yeah, at what cost, though? She seems to put herself in kind of a compromising position.
Yeah, ideally she would have wanted to slam down Thurs and end up in either a full mount, but Thurs just kind of sat down and kept some pretty valuable positioning.
Yeah, and it's a great tactic when you know you're getting taken down to kind of keep your composure and just sit and let it happen.
So again, Heather Smith up top, some body blows to the side of Thurs. Now trying to work to the full mount position. She gets it. Thurs kind of let her through pretty easily, and now pinned up against the cage. Using her flexibility in her legs to block those strikes.
Oh, Thurs is weaseling out from underneath.
From the back.
Oh, and she's looking to get back in the guard. Smith's got a half mount.
Yeah, she's inside control, goes back to the full mount. An arm from Valerie Thurs. There, you get a good look from our side camera at Thurs fighting off Heather Smith's submission offense. Trying to shrug her off, trying to transition to an armbar perhaps.
She needs to take...
Oh, as Thurs gets out from underneath, she's got Smith's legs, is taking the back.
She's going for an armbar, slips out, now going for some hammer fist from the top.
Thurs jumps down to land those shots. Smith tries to fight her away with her legs.
Thurs is definitely a flexible guy. I'm impressed. That was amazing the way she got out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thurs, she showed a little bit of it in round 1, but here a lot more practical with her flexibility in order to use those flexible legs in order to block Smith from a lot of attempts.
And I actually think it might be part of Thurs' strategy to try to weasel out of that from underneath and really use her legs to get the back of Smith. And it's not something you see. It's a little unorthodox for fighters. You don't really see that happen a lot. I think a lot of guys especially aren't as flexible as what Thurs has shown here. And I gotta say, I kind of like it.
Yeah, I just really hope that Thurs kind of do a different tactic on the next round. She's doing really good punches. However, Smith is a little bit taller, so she needs to start reaching for the ribs down or all the way to the up with some hooks. Because if not, Smith is gonna take her down again, and her energy is not good when she's down. She's really flexible. She's knowing how to get out, but at the end of the day, Smith is controlling the round.
Yeah, Thurs is breathing heavily, even coming out of the corner after this round 3 break. And Smith using her size advantage really well, and they're striking very effectively, backing up Thurs again up against the cage. Thurs trying to throw some knees in there.
Thurs has her in a nice clinch trying to avoid the takedown. Smith's trying to get those legs.
But again, Smith just stronger than Thurs.
And Smith knows that once she has Thurs down on the ground, she has the round, so...
Yeah, and Smith very patiently working those double legs as well, not exploding into them, just kind of biding her time, letting Thurs try to fight out of it, and then try to perfectly time these takedowns.
There's a great hook of the leg by Thurs to try to avoid it,
yeah,
keeping a strong base.
Yeah, Thurs has got a lot of athletic attributes that you want in a fighter. Very flexible, great balance, but it's just Smith's just drive and her relentlessness just gets her these takedowns.
Smith throwing some reaps and hooks right there.
The great right by Thurs. Oh, another right. Didn't quite land. She lands that one.
And you can tell fatigue setting in a little bit as left lands to the bridge of the nose of Heather Smith, but not as much behind these punches as we saw earlier in the fight here in round 3 with 47 seconds to end counting left in this fight.
Some hooks there by Thurs are landing on Smith, and it does look like Smith might be a little fatigued right now as she tries for this takedown.
And Thurs keeps grabbing the fence with her fingers, which is not allowed. I think the referee, Brian Tyler, well aware of that. Smith drops to her knee. Thurs trying to gather herself. 20 seconds left in this fight. Some straight left jabs to the face of Thurs, followed by some right overhands.
Thurs landing some nice rights.
Now some body punches from Smith to Thurs with less than 5 seconds left, and that one's it. 3 rounds for these ladies. They go the distance here in the under 115-pound division.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how the scoring is going to go for this one. It looked like Smith was definitely the aggressor. Thurs did land some nice shots and did avoid some takedowns. Smith had some takedowns.
I have to agree with you, Steven. I think Smith, both of them were great. However, the red corner kept aggressive, like being more aggressive than the blue corner on these fights. So I think the red corner is going to take it.
Yeah, from the jump in round 1, Smith got, I think in each and every round, Smith backed Thurs up into the cage and eventually worked her offense from that aggressive point with Thurs' back up against the cage. In rounds 1 and 2, we're able to get a couple takedowns. Not able to in round 3, but still very aggressive. Thurs didn't really strike very much in round 3 as the round progressed.
Yeah. In MMA, unlike boxing, it's hard to win on defense alone. And it looked like Thurs was definitely pretty good with her defense, but I don't think it's going to be enough to give her the edge in this match.
Yeah, I think Thurs, I think she showed a lot of her attributes as to why she could be successful at this, and that her flexibility and her balance was on really at a high level. We'll throw it to Jim Cooley for the official announcement of who wins this fight.
All 3 judges see this bout the same way. For your winner, by unanimous decision, in the red corner, Heather Smith.
So Heather Smith gets the unanimous decision victory as she defeats Valerie Thurs. Thurs falls to 1-1 in her career All right, now we are set for our co-main events. First, with the Bay Area Combat 170-pound title fight between Andrew Guisa and Diego Lopez. All right, we are set with our first of 3 title fights. This is the first of our 2 co-main events. The Bay Area Combat 170-pound title, Diego Lopez from Napa Valley MMA coming to the ring now. Steven, tell us a little bit about Diego's background.
So Diego's got a lot of experience with these matches. He's coming in at 3-3 from Napa. He's experiences open style MMA. His last fight was with Bay Area Combat back in March, and he lost to Jesse Beluth in a knockout. His fight before that, he lost to Joey Cropshot in a unanimous decision. Now, that was all the way back in March of 2017, and we've seen here with Bay Area Combat Joey Cropshot fight back in June. And Brian, what did you think of that fight? So there's really no shame in losing to Joey Cropshot.
Yeah, I think the most impressive performance on his resume is a unanimous decision loss to Joe Cropscott, because Cropscott, that's the only time he's gone to decision in his amateur career. Every time had been a first-round finish. So the fact that this 22-year-old from Napa Valley MMA can hang with a guy who's going to go pro and be, I would think, pretty successful based off of the performance we saw, the fact that he can hang with them for 3 rounds and not get finished by such a high-level MMA practitioner, that just shows Diego's prowess.
No, I completely agree. He's definitely a tough fighter, and he's coming in against Andrew Guisa, who does not have any camo experience. He just joined camo in August 30th of this year. He has a wrestling background along with boxing, coming out of Fields, California for Team Lost Boys.
Yeah, Team Lost Boys so far 1-1 on the card, with Watkins losing and Moore trying to end this with a victory and a title belt for Andrew Guisa. He is from Fields Landing, California. According to Twitter, he's from Arcata. And he has some experience just like his teammate Austin Moore, not necessarily on the camo scene, but according to his Twitter bio, so take that for what it's worth. He's 3-1 in his amateur career in mixed martial arts, dating back to 2016.
On my Twitter, I believe I'm 20-0.
Yeah?
With 19 knockouts.
And what is your Twitter there, Steven? Do you want to give that a shout out?
Shout out Babs Sports. I actually have no fighting experience to speak of other than when I was a teenager.
How about Nikki? You got a Twitter handle?
I don't have a Twitter at all.
I don't either.
Sorry, I'm a rookie when it comes to those things.
Yeah.
I'm an old school.
Yeah, check out Andrew Guisa's Twitter after this fight. Maybe he has another accolade to put under there with the Bay Area Combat 170-pound belt to put in his description, but trying to take that away is Diego Lopez. As Steven mentioned, 3-3. His career really got to a good start with going 3-1 in his first 4 fights, but the back-to-back losses coming up against higher-level competition. So Lopez in for a crucial fight in his career here. For the official introductions, here is Jim Cooley.
This bout, 3 rounds of mixed martial arts action for the vacant Bay Area Combat 170-pound championship. This fight is brought to you by Classic Automotive Repair. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, hailing from Napa, California. He represents Napa Valley MMA and weighing in at 169.2 pounds, Diego Lopez. His opponent, across the cage in the red corner, makes his home in Arcata, California. He represents Lost Boys MMA and weighing in at 169.2 pounds, Relentless Andrew Guisa.
So we'll see if that nickname
here to give instructions in our title fight
is applicable. Here's the ref.
With major fouls on that. Obey my commands. Protect yourself at all times. If you want to touch gloves now. Have a good show.
Have a good show indeed, fellas, with this 170-pound title fight for Bay Area Combat for the vacant belt here. 3-minute rounds in these championship fights as Lopez and Guisa getting set.
So right away, it looks like Guisa's got a little bit of a height advantage, but they're both similarly built fighters.
Yeah, exactly 169.2 pounds for both fighters, so no weight advantage for either fighter. As Guisa starting in the southpaw stance.
Guisa, I think, definitely will have the edge in a boxing.
And so far, the activity is fast and furious with these trading of blows. Leg kick followed up by a combo from Guisa. Guisa went in for a shot to get in the clinch there. Lopez trying to fight him off.
Nice knee, left knee from Guisa.
And Lopez's defense is one of his strengths, not getting taken down and working from this clinch position. But Guisa has him up against the cage. Gonna look to position for maybe a takedown of some sort, maybe go for some knees to the inner leg of Diego Lopez.
Yeah, great base by Guisa there. Looked like Diego might have been seeing if he could take him down, but...
Knee to the abdomen from Lopez as he escapes.
A great block of a knee there by Guisa. Looks like Diego caught him with a jab with a left jab.
And Lopez trying to be precise with those strikes. Hits with a right uppercut. Again, a clinch from Guisa using that Muay Thai background. Standing switch has Lopez pinned up against the cage in the blue corner. And that's a bad situation for Guisa maybe because Lopez right in the corner of his coaches. So some good advice perhaps, but Guisa with the takedown.
Yeah, it looks like Lopez trying to fight out of it.
Yeah, gets back to his feet. Good job from the Napa Valley MMA fighter to get on his feet, not be in that position for too long. Gets the underhooks in, goes for the trip, and he gets it. Good top position, inside control. Gonna work now to score with some elbows, perhaps.
Yeah, great takedown into a side mount by Lopez.
Guisa explodes up and tries to get the back, and he does have it. Underneath the chin of Lopez is Guisa. He's hunched over. Oh, and he breaks the... Oh, he is deep underneath the chin of Lopez. Let's see if Lopez
is able to hold on. I don't think he's going. Oh,
yeah.
Guisa
Lopez
gives up the hold.
Yeah, Guisa could not get the hold that position because Lopez put his chin down to his chest and held it for so long.
Oh, he's got him in an arm bar.
Great float over from Lopez. Gets his back.
Oh,
now he has the rear naked choke in. Let's see if Guisa can stay alive. It is over! Diego Lopez with the rear naked choke in the first round and becomes the 170-pound Bay Area Combat Champion.
What a slip out of that arm bar to take the back of Guisa. I am completely impressed with Lopez. It's no wonder why he took it all the way to the decision against Cropshot a couple years ago.
Wow. Amazing takeover, amazing fight. You can totally hear it in the crowd. The crowd is definitely excited. They didn't expect it.
Yeah, Napa Valley MMA, just we were talking kind of between the fights, Stephen. Really, I think their MO as an organization is just solid everywhere. You saw the training that Lopez had, not being flustered with that position with the rear naked choke from Guisa, pinning his chin down to his neck, getting out of that really deep hold. And then when Guisa went for that arm lock, just simply floated over, took the back, and finished the fight.
Yeah, it was incredibly impressive groundwork by Lopez. And, you notice he was standing up, trading blows, and was able to kind of hang with Guisa and whatever he wanted to do. And then as soon as he took Guisa down to the mat, they kind of went back and forth. Guisa did try to get that choke, and like you said, Lopez was just able to just fend off everything that Guisa was trying to throw at him.
And surprisingly enough, his first submission victory since his very first fight back in 2015. So at only 22 years of age, Diego Lopez has a bright future in MMA, now has his first championship here with Bay Area Combat.
Nothing more to say, but congratulations, Lopez. To be honest, this is the difference when you see a amateur event and an event, a title belt. You see these maneuvers
and Lopez celebrating on top of the cage to the Napa crowd. It's a great ovation, and rightfully so. Now I believe we're going to present Diego Lopez with his championship with Jim Cooley inside the cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting our title belt will be Mr. Doug McDaniel, owner of Classic Automotive Repair. Ladies and gentlemen, at 2 minutes, 36 seconds of the very first round, referee James Fanchier has called a stop to this contest. Your winner via tap out due to rear naked choke, a new Bay Area Combat 170-pound champion, Diego Lopez.
So again, congratulations to our new champ here at Bay Area Combat in the 170-pound division, Diego Lopez. All right, that's the first of 3 title fights. Next up, we have the Panda Cup interim belt fight in the 155-pound division between Sal Osorio and Anthony Beal. We are back with the Anthony Beal-Sal Osorio fight. This matchup is going to be, I think this is my favorite matchup coming into this one because really Sal Osorio, I think, is a really blue chip prospect. He's finished all 3 of his fights in the first round, but this man, Anthony Beal, at only 23 years of age, has a ton of experience. So this is a really exciting fight, and it's for a belt that's not even with this promotion. Bay Area Combat has allowed the Panda Cup title to be defended on its card because of some scheduling difficulties with Panda Cup. So this is a special treat for the Bay Area Combat fans, and it's a special treat for us.
You know, I'm with you. Sal Osorio's coming in 3-0 with Team Santo El Nino, and his last 3 fights were wins. He won by TKO, knockout, and submission. He fancies himself a striker coming out of Castro Valley, and I do look for a nice, great fight from Osorio tonight.
Yeah, and Beal, don't let the 23 years of age fool you. He has 9 career amateur fights dating back all the way to 2013. As soon as he turned 18, he started fighting. Some hiccups early on with 2 early losses, but since then, 4-3. He lost his title, though, his 155-pound title to David Scuba the last time we saw him on here. But he won that title against Freddie Rodriguez on March 10th of this year. So his 3rd fight in 2018, looking to pick back up another championship belt for Anthony Beal.
Yeah, and Beal, it was a great outing against David Scuba. I remember that fight well here with Bay Area Combat. And, you know, it's one of those things, you're going to win, you're going to lose, but it's how you bounce back from those losses that really show what kind of fighter you are.
And Beal has had a set of setbacks. His career goes as follows: loss, win, win, loss. So he's never had consecutive wins, only once in his career, and he's coming off of a loss. So coming off of adversity, that's kind of the tail of the tape for Anthony Beal in his career. And his opponent, Sal Osorio, I think what makes Beal such a difficult opponent is that Osorio has never seen the 2nd or the 3rd round in any of his amateur fights. Beal has that experience to push a guy like Osorio, even though he has great talent and great training, to push him into those 2nd and 3rd rounds to maybe test him in ways that his previous 3 opponents hadn't.
Yeah, definitely conditioning is going to play a factor into this match with Osorio, and see what he does in round 2 and round 3 against just a really well-seasoned Anthony Beal.
And so Anthony Beal finally set in the cage. Jim Cooley will introduce Sal Osorio. And we really have already sung the praises of Sal Osorio early on. Team Santos has a great jiu-jitsu school. You mentioned Joe Kropscott from earlier. He is a Team Santos member in El Nino Training Center with Gilbert Melendez. So excellent top-level training from this school. Not to mention Michael Bueno, our next fighter from the main event. The main event fight next is also a Team Santos El Nino Training Center partner. So you'll see, and actually you can see Joe Kropscott over to the right of that shot a little bit. He's going to be in the corner for his friend Sal Osorio.
Yeah, you mentioned Gilbert Melendez with this camp, and I've seen almost every one of Gil's fights, you know, from amateur all the way up into pro, and he's just a crazy fighter, and he gets in there, he's very technical, he's got great conditioning, he's able to roll with you, he can stand with you, he's got great legs. I actually celebrated his 21st birthday with him back in the day, and yeah, so, you know, when you got that kind of leadership and that kind of coach in your corner, you're going to do really well.
Yeah, this Team Santos team just seems to churn out 5'10", 6-foot athletic MMA fighters who are 23, 24 years of age. So it's an embarrassment of riches for that program, but it just shows what sort of results can happen from the professional training. As Osorio is now inside the cage, we're getting set for the official introductions from Jim Cooley.
Following about 3 rounds of mixed martial arts action for the interim Panda Cup Lightweight Championship. This bout is brought to you by Ken Mays Plumbing. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, hailing from Vallejo, California. He weighed in at 154.4 pounds. He represents Rappacon's Martial Arts and Asylum Fight Team, Skeletor Anthony Beal. His opponent, across the cage in the red corner, makes his home in Castro Valley, California. He represents Team Santos and the legendary El Nino Training Center. He is undefeated in his mixed martial arts campaign, Sal Osorio.
Referee Phil Baldacci to give instructions in our title fight. All right, gentlemen, we're over to the back. I expect a good, clean, fair fight. Touch gloves now. Let's bring the violence.
Yeah, this is the fight we've been waiting for. We've got two great schools going head-to-head for a title fight, Brian.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, a very entertaining fight between these two. Beal has a 4-inch height advantage, going to have the reach advantage as well at this weight. And Osorio pressing the issue early, getting in with the clinch
Right away striking with overhand rights. Oh, and a nice left.
Yeah, and Beal going with a great body kick, and Osorio follows up with some punches.
Yeah, Osorio definitely coming out really aggressive right now.
Double leg takedown and gets it. Beal using his length up against the cage to try to work out from here. Beal very flexible for his height, 6'2", 155 pounds.
Great defense from Osorio, fighting off those legs and trying to work his hands.
But this is his realm. Oh, going for the arm lock.
Brian, you stole my words. Beal is really flexible. We have seen him in past fights. He knows how to get out, so he just needs to take time, and he's doing it right now.
Yeah, but this is also Team Santos' world with jiu-jitsu. Great strikes for Beal against Beal when he was coming up from that bottom position. Again, a takedown for Osorio, second of the round.
Osorio definitely in control in this fight. Great defense, though, by Beal.
So with 1 minute gone by in round one, going for a triangle choke. Arm leg triangle. Osorio slips out, though. Now it goes for the left-handed hammer fists. Beal gets to his feet, and that just shows Beal's acumen. Twice Osorio takes him down, but twice he gets back up to his feet.
Good knee there by Beal. Osorio trying to fight off the arms.
Osorio is in his own quarter, so he's getting good advice.
Beal is going for those ribs with the knees, though. So those don't look painful, but
and he dropped him.
Anthony Beal with the right-handed hook is knocked out in the first round by Sal Osorio, your new interim Panda Cup champion.
Let's just give a second. We don't know if the fight's going to keep going. The referee's still
No, absolutely.
It is over.
He is done. He was out like a light.
He did not move once. Sometimes when a fighter hits the ground, he pops back up a little bit, but yeah, Beal's going to have to be checked out by the EMTs. It's going to be a little bit lengthy of a process before he gets his title, but man, what a showing from Sal Osorio.
Now, you could tell early on Osorio's strikes were going to land at some point against Beal. Beal's hands just weren't quite up in defense enough to try to counter any of those strikes, and Osorio just finally landed.
And there you get a good look at Osorio and Beal sharing some words afterwards, showing great sportsmanship. You know, when you go to battle and you go to war with somebody, you leave usually with some respect for that opponent, and that was an example of that right there.
I gotta say, I'm a little bit disappointed. Beal is a great fighter. We have seen him today and in past fights, and I really wanted him to take the belt tonight. But Osorio, he showed that he's getting stronger and stronger and growing as a fighter, so he definitely deserves this belt tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Moves to 4-0 on his career. Anthony Beals falls to 4-6, but Osorio, his career is on the upward trajectory, taking up this Panda title, and I believe we're getting set pretty soon to issue Osorio his new hardware in the center of that cage.
And Sal Osorio came out pretty much what I was expecting from Team Santo El Nino, and that was some aggression, but some really great precision strikes and the ability to get on the ground and play good defense, because it looked like, just a minute.
Yeah, we'll send it over to Jim Cooley for the announcement for Sal Osorio's championship victory.
At just 1 minute, 36 seconds of round number one, referee Phil Baldacci has called a stop to this contest. Your winner via knockout and new interim Panda Cup lightweight champion, Sal Osorio. All right, hold on. Hold on, DJ. First, give him his belt, Bubba. I got to talk to this kid for a minute. There's the bell. All right. Now let me explain to everybody at home what's going on here. Okay, everybody listen up. Sal was scheduled to fight Julius Wright, who is the current Panda Cup lightweight champion. Julius Wright's wife is having a baby and he didn't make it to the fight. So tonight, we had an interim title fight, and Sal, you just won by knockout, and you walked straight up to Julius Wright and you said, you better show up.
I'm just gonna say it. I'm calling you out for everybody here, dude. You're not on my level. I'm gonna show that December 8th.
Okay, before we get to that, walk me through that punch. Did you know he was out when you landed the shot?
No, man, I didn't. I watched everything on this guy, Anthony Bill. Tell you what, that dude's tough, man. I put everything in that first left and I rocked him. I felt it, but it didn't go. That dude's a tough dude, man. Every time he comes in here, he brings it. Respect to him.
What do you want to say to the people who showed up to support you tonight?
Man, I want to say thank you so much. This last year has been such a blast. You know, I walked into Team Santos a little over a year ago, and I was treated with nothing but kindness and friendship from day one. And we got something special over there. We got Killers, we got Joe, we got Bueno, and like I said, man, it's something special.
And we'll see Bueno coming up in the main event. All right. Now I need you to keep your cool. At this time, please welcome the current Panda Cup lightweight champion, Julius Wright. All right, Julius, come here. Okay, so you guys were set to fight. It didn't work out. You had some stuff going on at home. We all know that. He walked right up to you and he said, you better show up. So let me just ask you on behalf of everyone here, are you ready for this fight?
Oh, I'm ready for this fight. To be honest, you are like, you're a beast. I'll give you that. But a beast is nothing to me. You had to really come up to my level. You had to really come up to separate the group.
Everybody, I give you 90 seconds.
I hope that everybody can feel the one style fight. I hope. No, to be honest, when you guys see me, when you guys see this real talent, you guys will see that this knockout that he had over a 2-4 fighter was nothing. Hey, who'd you beat? We'll see who the true champion is. You'll see.
All right, hold on.
Coming from the guy that beat a dude who was 1-2 for his belt.
All right. Bubba, come here. Bubba, come here. All right, guys, let's face it off. December 9th, Julius Wright, Sal Osorio, once and for all. Only one man is going to leave with the strap. Who's it going to be? Check out Panda Cup on Facebook. Give it up for our two champions and give it up for the brand new interim champion, Sal Osorio.
Well, that was some interesting post-match interactions there from our interim champ, Sal Osorio.
I know exactly where I'm going to be December 8th to watch that Panda Cup showdown.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting fight. And we have one more exciting fight for you folks watching Bay Area Combat 155-pound title bout between Michael Bueno, the teammate of Sal Osorio, versus Raymond Lopez. This should be an exciting one. This is our main event, and it's coming up next. Raymond Lopez looks to add another belt to Napa Valley MMA's collection as he faces Michael Bueno in this Bay Area Combat 155-pound title fight. Steven, tell us a little bit about Raymond Lopez.
So Raymond Lopez is coming to this fight with a record of 3-4. What kind of, it'll be interesting to see if there's any dust on this fighter. His last fight was December 2nd, 2017, where he lost by TKO. Now, he does have a wrestling background. He is from Napa Valley MMA, which we discussed earlier. Definitely produces some great fighters, so maybe there won't be any rust there after all coming from Napa.
Yeah, ring rust is something to keep an eye on as Michael Bueno, he fought last June in his last fight. So Lopez, almost 10 months since he last fought, but his record's a little deceiving on his skill level because 2 of his losses are against Lucas Gubbins from Team Alpha Male. He has an electric power punch. We saw it in our very first broadcast we ever did with Steve Barnett and Bay Area Combat. So nothing than a sneeze at to lose twice to Lucas Gubbins and Sam Romero as well. So Lopez, 25 years of age, an Orthodox fighter, like I mentioned, from Napa Valley MMA. Him and Diego Lopez, really 2 of the stalwarts and 2 of the star pupils for Napa Valley MMA. So he'll look to show up here in his hometown.
So just like we saw from Sal Osorio, Michael Bueno fights for Team Santos El Nino. And he's coming in with a record of 3-2. His last fight was here with Bay Area Combat back in June, where he won by knockout in 4 seconds against Sahid Safi. That was an incredible fight by Michael Bueno. It'll be great to see him fight tonight for this belt.
And obviously coming off the heels of that Sal Osorio fight, you kind of know what the game plan is for him. Obviously use that striking ability to his advantage to maybe open up some jiu-jitsu on the ground. But again, Lopez being such a well-rounded fighter, this is a great matchup once again. Excellent main event put on by Steve Barnett. Michael Bueno is 27 years of age, 6'1" at this 155-pound weight, so he has a 3-inch height advantage over Lopez. Going to be a little bit longer, lankier, but obviously a great athlete is Michael Bueno.
Yeah, I definitely don't think this fight's going to end in the first 5 seconds. Unless there's some incredible striking with an actual knockout, I think it might go to the distance.
Yeah, we've had some surprises here. Some surprising victories come from behind knockouts that you didn't expect, and it's been an exciting card here once again for Bay Area Combat Oktoberfest. We'd like to thank Steve Barnett once again for letting us here at the Solano College Sports Network broadcast this wonderful event for Brian Nelson, Stephen Babb, and Nikki Requejo. This is our main event of the evening, our third title fight, and this should be probably the best matchup in terms of even skill levels, because Michael Bueno, we saw his training with his training partner in Osorio, and Lopez, his training partner in the other Lopez, Diego. So this should be a pretty even matchup.
Yeah, I completely agree. And just on behalf of Napa Valley, California, Steve Barnett is the very first person to bring an MMA event here to Napa. And I know everybody here is always excited. Their crowds are always fantastic. And it's going to be great to see more events from Bay Area Combat happen here.
And not to mention, he does great work in MS research each time he puts on a performance here. Great job by Steve. Let's throw it over to Jim Cooley for the introductions for this title fight.
For the vacant Bay Area Combat Lightweight Championship. This bout is brought to you by Downtown Joe's. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, hailing from Napa, California. He represents Napa Valley MMA and weighing in at 153.6 pounds, Raymond Lopez. His opponent across the cage in the red corner makes his home in San Lorenzo, California. He represents Team Santos and the El Nino Training Center. He weighed in at 155.8 pounds, the Don Michael Bueno. Referee Brian Tyler to give instructions in our main event.
All right, gentlemen, this is the lightweight title. Remember the instructions in the back. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. If you'd like to do so, touch gloves now.
So a show of respect for both fighters, touching gloves before this bout between Michael Bueno and Raymond Lopez. Brian Tyler, the referee, for this 3-minute, 3-round matchup. Both fighters look ready.
I'm definitely standing up for this one.
Yeah. Some leg kick early on for Bueno to start out. Lopez with a nice 1-2 combination.
Landed squarely on Bueno's chin.
It's got to be good for the striking of Lopez to nail early on. And again, hits Bueno with overhand right.
Oh, great leg kick by Bueno.
Yeah, to the inside leg. And that one puts out
down.
Lopez, and he finishes it.
My God!
It's not 5 seconds, but it sure was quick. 30 seconds, and it is over. Michael Bueno with the knockout.
That was incredible. I did not see that one coming at all.
What the power of Michael Bueno in that hand, in that glove, knocking out such a tough fighter, Raymond Lopez, so early in round number 1.
Brian, he did it again.
He did it again. He might have to change his name from the Don to something power related, like One Punch Man or something to go with
Michael
anime.
Bueno,
Yeah.
the Energizer.
Something, because he definitely lit this place on fire in this main event. it is over before it even began, folks. Michael Bueno, second title going home to Team Santos and the El Nino Training Center.
And, you got to kind of take your hat off to Lopez. He got up kind of quick. You almost wonder what the ref saw while he was on the ground. Now, he did get knocked off his feet with that punch, but you almost kind of wonder if maybe this might have been called too quick.
Yeah, and on this level, I think it kind of goes back to the safety concerns. I like my referees to be on the safer side rather than let a guy get beat down while he's knocked out. But obviously, the ref has the best angle in there, so he saw maybe something in Raymond's eyes and his body language that he wasn't going to be able to fight back. And Bueno did capitalize with some hammer fists. Yeah, I think he hit one in. Had he continued, maybe it caused a little bit more damage. But nonetheless, Michael Bueno, heck of a performance here, collecting the 155-pound title. We'll send it over to Jim Cooley with the official announcement of your winner and present the title to Michael Bueno.
Presentation by Downtown Joe's. At just 22 seconds of round number 1, referee Brian Tyler has called a stop to this contest. Your winner, via technical knockout, and new Bay Area Combat lightweight champion, the Don Michael Bueno. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Steve and Deborah and everyone here at Bay Area Combat, all the fighters, thank you for coming out. We'll see you at the next event. Please drive safe, and thanks for coming out to Oktoberfest.
I'll piggyback off of Jim Cooley. We'd like to thank everybody for watching Oktoberfest here on the Solano College Sports Network. Final thoughts, Nikki, on this entire card?
Brian, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure doing the broadcast with you guys. These fights blow my mind. I'm really excited for Bay Area Combat next event. They are killing it.
Yeah, Steven, what are your final thoughts on this great event here at Napa?
We saw some fantastic fights. We saw some good hard fights with some great defense, but definitely the offense came out on top tonight. Some great knockouts, even some submissions. Only a couple of decisions, which I'm not too too unhappy about.
Yeah.
It's great to see the fighters get in there and really get after it.
Yeah, seeing exciting finishes like that, especially in crucial title fights like that in the co-main events and the main event. What a heck of a performance for Team Santos and the El Nino Training Center tonight, picking up 2 belts, as well as Diego Lopez becoming the 170-pound champ for Bay Area Combat. So that'll do it for us here at the Solano College Sports Network. For our entire crew, for Nikki, for Steven, I am Brian Nelson. Thank you for watching, and this has been our presentation of Bay Area Combat Oktoberfest. Thank you for watching.
Fighting!